Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Last night's edition of Monday Night Raw, I think, as a whole, honestly, wasn't the best edition they've come out with in a long time, but I think that last hour of Monday Night Raw, honestly, was some of the best TV WWE's put out in a long time. You look at that last hour, you have the bare bones sort of making of what could be a WWE pay-per-view. Someday along the way, a lot of real good shit with, Cena and Del Rio and Big E. I think Big E's a big star coming along the way. And then you have the big CM Punk and Daniel Bryan teaming up against The Shield. When that match was going down, the Wyatts, they got themselves into the match, and it looked like we were going to have a good brouhaha between the Wyatt clan and The Shield. I think a lot of people, when the Wyatts came in, sort of like as a trio, they sort of put, they're three guys, The Shield is three guys. This is more than likely a match that we're going to see somehow along the way. Weren't really sure on what the Wyatts were going to be, but when they came in, they kept on attacking, baby faces, so they make you think that they're going to be heels, and that's led to their first match being Bray Wyatt going up against Kane, and then taking out Kane in the Inferno Fire match at SummerSlam and everything like that. And I don't know, it seems like for a while they were getting huge, babyface pops. Everybody loved these guys, and I think they still do get behind them, but they really haven't had a real notable feud since SummerSlam, and here they are coming in. And I think my favorite thing about the whole brouhaha was, Seth Rollins was in the middle trying to, make cooler, heads prevail, since they're both, heels at this time. But it seemed like Luke Harper and Dean Ambrose wanted to go at it, and it seemed like right when everything sort of cooled down, both of them turned to do their walk-away thing, and as they turned, they both BAM! And they both hit each other. They both had the same plan. They both knocked each other out. And then it was on from everybody, of course. You had Roman Reigns on the outside, and he was battling around, and everybody was fighting inside. And we got a good few minutes of fighting, and then that crowd was just going bananas. They were going crazy. I think that's one of my favorite things is when they put together, and they have groups of guys. A lot of times when, heels are heels, all the heels sort of get along, but these sort of are heel groups that don't really mix together. The Shield and the Wyatts, and if they want to kill each other, basically in order to get to who's going to be able to be the guy who beats up CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, that's something that's pretty cool for me. And it seemed like they did get everything calmed down, and then they went on to have the 6-on-2 advantage before the Usos and Cody Rhodes and Goldust came running out there in order to even the odds and end the TV show. But I think a lot of people, honestly, even Big Dave Meltzer himself, were thinking that this is going to be the future booking of what could be, a WrestleMania match. And honestly, if you can remember back to the 2010, 2011, when you had Nexus, they were winding down. They were pretty much dying out. They put CM Punk in there as that last glimmer of hope of trying to keep something alive that was so great when Wade Barrett was there. But, Wade had so many chances and couldn't get it done. They removed him from leadership at the Nexus. He went over to SmackDown, started up the Core, and, you had this dream 5-on-5 matchup of the Core going up against, I guess it couldn't have been 5-on-5 because there was only 4 dudes in the Core. But you know what I was getting at was some sort of a dream match of them going at it at WrestleMania, and that was what so many people were putting on the WrestleMania cards. When it came time for the Rumble, there was a great deal of exchanges with these guys sort of getting paired up with a lot of the Nexus guys being in the ring, and I think a few guys from the Core, Heath Slater, Justin. Gabriel came out there, and they sort of tried to have a mini battle royal amongst themselves. Of course, Nexus was really, really strong in there with all the members in there at one time, just sort of counting it down until I think Cena came in and broke up the show and almost eliminated everybody except for Punk, I think is how it went down. I haven't watched that Rumble in a while, but that's a really, really cool moment when the Nexus really takes over the Rumble. You can also look at the other Rumble that CM Punk took over when he drew an early number, and the Straight Edge Society were out there, and they were trying to get Zack Ryder to join up with the crew. But honestly, I think, thinking of this as of right now as a future WrestleMania match is too far out. When I sit down to write my TLC card. I think it's hard for me to book everything out. I think that people are looking too far in the future. Honestly, in my mind, I think the whole storyline is going to be that the Shield is going to be turning babyface sooner than later. Of course, you can see by the Shield stepping up to Randy Orton, saying that we don't work for you, we don't work for Triple H, we don't work for Stephanie. That sort of throws my hands up in the air that I don't really understand what the fuck's going on, because what are they benefiting out of this? The only thing they've done since SummerSlam is join up and sort of been the defenders for these guys, and I don't know, if they're not working for them and they're not getting paid under the table to be like Triple H's security, what are they really getting? Because, they're not really getting featured matches. The only thing that's really happened is the Shield has lost their tag team titles, and it doesn't seem like, Triple H or Stephanie or anybody's really stepped up to the plate to make sure that they get them back. Dean Ambrose hasn't really been featured in any, U.S. title matches. It sort of seems like they just put him out there because they needed some security and they didn't want to use, sort of like that bootleg indie worker security with them yellow shirts with just security written on the chest. I think that when it comes down to it, a TLC match between the Wyatts and the Shield will both get these guys over. Be able to establish the Shield as the babyface group more, or maybe you could just have both of these guys beat the hell out of each other to make sure that they're the guys that go up against Punk and Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever, and get that done, because I think if they're going to be stepping up in the face of the authority of Randy Orton, that means more than likely they're going to be running their mouth in front of and Triple H and Stephanie as well, more than likely demanding to get something for what they're doing. Of course, if you look back 2 weeks ago, they were teasing the breakup of the Shield with Roman Reigns sort of not liking what was going on, looking sort of really disgusted at what he was doing, and thinking that more than likely, by looking into his eyes, you can see that he should be doing this on his own and not doing what they're doing. He seems like he's working for everybody else for what he wants, and maybe they put the brakes on that to sort of build towards the whole team turning face. I think if anything could be cool, would be like looking back at WrestleMania 26 and the breakup of Legacy with the three-way match. And I think if you did do a three-way match with Rollins versus Reigns versus Ambrose, I think that would be a good way to break up the Shield. I definitely think that this team's not going to last forever, and you got to break them up in some memorable way, and I don't think you really want to do that at something like Extreme Rules or any other just minor pay-per-view like that. You do it at WrestleMania, it's going to be something that everybody remembers forever and ever. Basically, I think that breakup of Legacy, I thought that was going to be the last match of Cody Rhodes, and look how far he's came after that, and what happened to Ted DiBiase just sucks. Maybe someday he'll get a second chance, but he can figure out that he wants to go back on the road and work and, see what can happen. I think that guy had a bright future. I thought he was going to be future champion, and now he's sitting at home doing autograph shows and working indies. So we'll see what happens from here. But, Wyatts versus the Shield could be one of the biggest matches that WWE's put out there that people care about in a long time. A lot of fans for both of those guys. I wish the Wyatts would have had a better shirt to come out with as their rookie shirt. That first one they came out with, I see a lot of people wearing it, but it doesn't seem like something that I'd really want to wear out there. I think it just doesn't appeal to me. Peace out.